always been a huge advocate for the subject line. I think it matters way more than writers think it does. And I'm a managing editor of a site now myself, so I see what's in my inbox. And I think that alone, just getting your pitch opened is truly 60 to 70% of the battle. Like there are so many emails that editors just never get to. So I think learning how to write a snappy, sharp subject line was a big part of that. But then I think beyond that, again, a lot of my stuff is in the outdoor industry. I think sometimes it takes stepping back from what you want to write about and what you think is cool or fun, and actually evaluating what is truly needed and what is unique. And it's kind of, I know a lot of authors in the fiction world have that expression. I'm going to butcher it and make it sound terrible, but it's something like you have to be willing to kill off your babies or something.
Oh, kill your darlings.
Kill your dog. That's way more appropriate.
I think it's a Stephen King quote.
Yes, that one. Kill your darling.
Yeah.
It's almost that. I think it's hard for people sometimes, especially creatives, to sit down and look at their idea, for example, and maybe look inward and be like, this is not that good of an idea. Or maybe I don't have a timely enough hook, or this matters now. Why? Like, I think sometimes writers can get really attached to an idea and they forget to evaluate all of those pieces. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, for the editor, it's not personal. They're part of a business. They have to run their business the right way. You are serving a purpose in their business. And so I think I've always maybe.
Do you have a, because what I'm finding, I'm actually struggling with this right now on a pitch that I was working on this morning, where I'm like, I like what your advice there. It's like, okay, I need to step out of my, like what I want to write about and like what is needed and what is interesting. But when you feel stuck, or when you did feel stuck, did you have any strategies for kind of like getting your brain to loosen up and go a different direction?
Yeah. I mean, especially when I was pitching a lot, I had a routine. I pitch every Monday. That was kind of my system. And when you put yourself on that kind of schedule, you inevitably will feel stuck because we are, content machines. It's hard to generate that often. So one of the things I would often do is for better or worse, I would go to social media, and they tell you not to scroll and you waste your time, which is true.
Sometimes.
But also, there's a lot of really good ideas on there. So I would go scroll on Instagram or Twitter, the two places where I'm most present. And I would look for people doing cool things. Because again, in the outdoor world that I write in, that's a lot of it. There's people doing these amazing things all the time, but the same six get covered more often than not. So sometimes I would go into the internet and try to find random people doing cool things that would be fun to write about. And that would sometimes jumpstart the creative process. Or sometimes I would just go and Google those, what is it? Like the fancy holiday calendars every year that are like, Margarita Day is this day and Cotton Candy Day is this day, or whatever random ones exist. And I would scroll through those because sometimes you'd see those super bizarre holidays and it would be just enough to be like, oh, well, it's hiking day on June 6th. Maybe I could pitch a hiking story in advance of that holiday because there's the timely hook an editor needs. And sometimes that would be enough to just kind of get it flowing again.